Deep in a secret Pacific underground lair, Pop Culture Minefield presents Saturday Afternoon Matinee. This is the Comic Relief Crusader telling you to get your popcorn and candy ready. Take it away, Martine!
Come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Those are damn good rules to live by. I tells you. And that is probably one of the top 10 greatest Westerns ever made. Oddly, I would say that he's in two of them. This film and The Searchers. It's amazing at one end of his career. And he was not a young man when he was in The Searchers. He was already in his 40s. But it's so old, people, don't realize. That's not young John Wayne. John Wayne's been around since there's been, started sound.
The 40s is still not old, Gerry.
And he was... I started feeling old in my 40s because that's when everything started. All the shit that I did in the military and in sports started coming back to haunt me, going, why did I do that?
Well, sports shit that I did started bugging me in the 30s. Still don't feel old.
Mine wasn't so bad in the 30s, except my shoulder. My shoulder was the only thing that was bad in the 30s. Everything else was fine. But I hit my 40s, my knees, my hips, and my back and my neck started. So, hey, who's all here right now? Who the fuck is watching our show? We got Dragon Ruse is here. Greetings, Dragon Ruse. Sci-Fi Mombi is here. Hello, Sci-Fi Mombi. Our good pal Kingsport Cal is here. What is up, my brother? I hope you guys are having a great weekend. We're going to sit here and we're going to talk a little John Wayne while my glucometer lets me know that it's lost connection. Reconnect.
That seems to be a thing today. I keep losing connection on my laptop to everything.
I'm sitting exactly. It is literally inches away from the sensor on my arm. My sensor's right there. It's like I've lost contact. It's right here.
My shit has infected your shit.
There you go. Smacking it. You're smacking it. So anyway, this is, really, and it's a different kind of film. And oddly, it is a film that would go on later to inspire Clint Eastwood, who loved the Duke. He loved the Duke, man. He loved John Wayne's movies and loved John Wayne, admired him. But that was not something that went both ways because the Duke, John Wayne, had problems with the way Clint did his Westerns. He didn't like the neo Western films. He didn't like them. He didn't like the gray colored good guy, and he had a problem with that. He'd address it, spoke directly to Clint by letter on the subject, and I think it probably left Clint a little brokenhearted because, here he is, a great lover of the Western as well, but he's wanting to put a new spin on it because everything had been done already. So he was trying to find new ways of telling stories, which is the trick in filmmaking. Alfred Hitchcock said it best that there's nothing new under the sun. We haven't seen a new original story since the Bible because every story's been told. What's the original is in how you tell it. And you look at John Wayne, and John Wayne remade made and then remade a film 4 times.
4 times.
Okay. El Dorado, the Comancheros. Is all of them were the same basic story, and 2 of them by the same director because he felt he could do it better the second time. And it's just funny. And each one of the films is good. Yeah, the second film is better. It is. He did the first one with Dean Martin and did the second remake with Robert Mitchum, the same role. And it worked. It really did work. I think it's a great film. But I think the one with the singer, I can't remember his name, Ricky, what's his name? I went to a garden party. That guy, I can't remember his name. Ricky, Ozzie and Harriet's son.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I can't believe the name's escaping me. Anyway, so Ricky Nelson. Ricky Nelson. He came to me. Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, Ricky Nelson. So Ricky Nelson, his version of the kid wasn't as dynamic as it was when James Caan steps in with the Robert Mitchum remake of the same movie with John Wayne in the same role. I believe it, he said, and spoke harshly about African Americans, saying we can't all sudden get, and I mean, turn everything over to the leadership of the blacks. I have no knowledge of that. I'll take your word on it, man. He's an imperfect guy, but he's a good actor, and that's what we're here to do, is to celebrate the movie, The Shootist, which unbeknownst to a lot of people, he was already dying when he made the film, and he had already fought cancer twice, lost a lung in 1960. All those films he made from 1960 on were with one lung. And,
I think it's so dark that he was dying of cancer, playing a character who's dying of cancer. That is just...
It's also kind of nice that he went out that way. And he did make one more appearance at the Oscars. And it was an interesting moment. Johnny Carson was there. He was the MC. And Wayne came out and he just looked terrible. He's gaunt. You could tell he was sick. He's just gigantic, tall guy, and just all of a sudden he's thin. And well, I don't feel guilty either. I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
that's not a bad statement. I don't have a problem with that statement.
Yeah.
What's the point of feeling guilty about something that happened 10 generations before you even existed?
Yeah, or
Exactly.
It had nothing to do with you. Irish, Irish tended to not own much of anything in the United States. And a lot of them, like my family, came over indentured. We had to work for our freedom, my family. Is what it is. You can't change it. Can't change the past. All you do is move on from it. Learn from it.
Yeah.
Just don't repeat it. So anyway, one interesting thing that came from my family that came over, they came over on what's called coffin ships. And my great aunts came over, and their father died on the voyage. And so they're all children when they came here. And that was difficult trying to
What?
yeah, I don't have anything on that. These are all taken in and around other contexts that I'm not aware of right now. So this isn't the place for that. This is to celebrate the film, The Shootist. I don't see any point in going into that. The Shootist is a story about John Book, a man who is, because they didn't have the word gunslinger back then. Gunslinger came around from Hollywood. They were referred to as shootists.
I like that term.
And John Book was a lawman who eventually became a bounty hunter, basically, and would hunt, would hunt criminals down.
Physics.
And if they didn't want to come in, he would kill them
Cool.
and then collect the pay on it. And it gave him a better reputation with some people. Like, you see Harry Morgan's character in the film. He's the town sheriff. He's terrified of the guy. He's misunderstanding his being there. And all he's probably thinking is he's after somebody, and I don't want it in my town because that means there's going to be bloodshed and paperwork. Because he's clearly a bureaucrat. But Book is basically come to this town because he's looking for a doctor that he's read about because he wants a second opinion on his cancer. He wants to know if there's any good news.
Well, he knows the guy, right? He knows that doctor.
And he knows him from the past. So he goes there and well, we'll go with the film because like you got this opening scene.
You're not reading.
You've got this interesting scene that John didn't like the way it was shot. And he and Siegel immediately were already at odds with one another. One, they were in the high country here, which was hard for Wayne because he's only got one lung. And he was having a lot of difficulty going up into this cold mountainous range and to get the shot. And what he ended up saying to Siegel was, John Ford wouldn't have shot it this way. And you just said that to a guy that just came off of a hit called Dirty Harry. And he's just not going to have any of it. So they just did not get along during the making of this film. But they got some clips here from some great movies. This one here right there is from the second remake of the film that I was talking about, where he shoots that kid and he feels bad and he takes the dead kid up to his father. He says, I had no choice in the matter, and father just accepted. Kid fell asleep. But here's the scene up in the mountains, the high Sierras, and John Wayne delivers a really cool scene where the guy is going to rob him, says, give me your wallet. And he goes, I got a little bit extra here for you too. And he's got his pistol hidden underneath the wallet and shoots him. He says, you killed me. He says, you ain't going to die. You're going to suffer, but you ain't going to die. Oh my God. This is such a snarky scene, what he says to this guy.
I like it.
It sets up, basically just how basic this character is. John Book's got a simple set of rules.
I like his style.
And it's interesting because Glendon Swart's son, when he finally came of age where he felt he had the skill to write, wrote the sequel to this book, and it was called The Last Shootist, which tells the story of the young Ron Howard character going off and having to be a shootist himself. And then, of course, at the end of it, just like at the end of this story, rejecting it. Well, that'll teach you to try to rob a man standing at a distance like that. He had a 2-shot Derringer there.
I love how he tells him to find a different job. That was a great line.
I can hardly move. That's what you're going to do to me. Yes, you better find yourself another line of work.
Yeah, that line. That was fun.
But that being up there in those mountains was rough on him with having only one lung. And then they shot this, and I can't remember where this was at. They found a nice little township that looks like old Carson City. Although
it
the
has
streets
the shooting
longer.
Locations in the end credits, and a lot of it was done in Nevada.
I'm not surprised.
That's
I
why
love
go
that
for
they included
Westerns.
the horse-drawn trolley cars because they were very popular in that decade. San Francisco started with horse-drawn trolleys. And oh my God, what a bitch that would have been, those hills. Jesus. It's a man-made island. Why did you have to make it so hilly? Now, this guy always plays bad guys.
What's his name again?
Oh, the character or the actor?
The actor.
The actor. Sorry.
Oh, shit. Let me go see. Because his character's name is Cobb. Let me look it up. Cobb was played by Bill McKinney. Bill McKinney is also famous for working a lot with Clint Eastwood. In fact, he's in Every Which Way But Loose. He's one of the bikers in that film.
I found the shooting location, Gerry, and a lot of it is Carson City, Nevada.
Wow.
Interesting.
So here's some interesting stuff for you. Producer Mike Frankovich announced that he had purchased the movie rights to Glendon Swarthout's novel, The Shootist, and Wayne expressed a strong desire to play the title role, reportedly because of similarities to the character Jimmy Ringo in The Gunfighter, a role that he had turned down 25 years earlier. He was not initially considered due to his health and stamina issues, and he had experienced health and stamina issues that he had experienced while shooting Rooster Cogburn, the second film from True Grit. Paul Newman passed on the role. George C. Scott, Charles Bronson, Gene Hackman, and Clint Eastwood all turned it down before it was finally offered to John Wayne. His compromised lung capacity made breathing and mobility difficult at Carson City's 4,600 feet altitude. That's 1,400 meters for those of you that are metric and don't know math.
Go fuck yourself. There you go.
Yeah.
Massive shit on the chart with the medieval numbers.
I'm doing this
Gerry?
because she and I got into this stupid argument earlier.
Gerry, you can go fuck yourself with a sliding rule.
No, he was laughing his ass off when I came back from resetting all my stuff on my laptop, and since I have to use US American because my keyboard is US American, it changed my temperature settings to Fahrenheit, and it took me like 15 minutes to change it back to actual science numbers. And so I was mad at my computer, and he had fun.
You know, and the funny part is, I could sit there and, do the equations, but she's bitching about. So anyway, 1,400 meter altitude, the production had to be shut down for a week while he recovered from influenza, that filthy Italian bastard. But Wayne
I wasn't sure if you can go back.
Filming without further significant medical issues. The Shootist was Wayne's final cinematic role, concluding a 50-year career that began during the silent era. I told you. He started 4 years before the first talkie. Wayne was not terminally ill while he was making the film in 1976, though he was sick. He had been a heavy smoker for most of his life, and he was diagnosed with lung cancer back in the 60s. He underwent surgical removal of his left lung, including several ribs. He remained clinically cancer-free until 1979, when metastases were discovered in his stomach, intestine, and spine. He died in June of 1979. Nonetheless, Wayne appeared in a televised public service announcement for the American Cancer Society, where he said, "Don't smoke. This is what happens." So this scene here, by the way, with Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy and he go way back. Fondly, we know him as Jimmy Stewart. And Jimmy Stewart is a war veteran. He was in many bomb missions over Europe. He suffered from severe post-traumatic stress disorder. And acting is one of the ways that helped him work with it and deal with it.
He was done
and
with
he
acting,
became
though, at
close
this point.
friends. No, he still did 5 more movies before he died. His last movie was in 1991.
Oh, because I
And
thought
he,
that he just did it because Wayne requested him, and it was so
well, he had
problematic because
come
he
out
could
of
barely
retirement.
hear.
There's no question about it. He was deaf. No, he was deaf. And so he had trouble doing these scenes, and he relied on visual cues. If you watch him do this scene, he's watching everything that Wayne does. Wayne is exaggerating movement with the pillow, everything. And that was done just for Jimmy, so he could do these scenes.
Yeah, I think
And
especially
he
the
got the film done.
soundstage they used was problematic for him acoustically.
That was the other problem acoustically, because it was done in a real house. It wasn't done on a soundstage. All these scenes were done at that building. He had a lot of trouble with it, but Jimmy did come out of retirement and continued acting until 91, and he died in 93. He was a lovely man. He was a true American, and I love that about the guy. Ron Howard, this kid was probably a better director than he ever was going to be an actor, because I got to be honest, he's not that good of an actor. He basically plays Ron Howard. Like Opie, all the characters he plays are the same character. This is probably the greatest depth of character you'll ever see with him in the final scene. And I have a clip of it that I'm hoping to upload here during this discussion. But hey, did Mike respond to you? Did Mike say he was going to join us?
He said he was going to try.
I hope he can make it, man.
I just want to say, I've been harassed enough by my own boss, and now I have to deal with this shit.
What's this?
Just ignore it. Just ignore it. It's like 2 countries of the world who refuse to do that. The rest of the world has advanced.
Numeric harassment.
Other than Japan, we are one of the greatest producers of merchandise. So, nah, that's what I say. So anyway, I do like this film a lot, and Jimmy Stewart. Oh shit! I was going to say something about. Damn it! You interrupted me. What was it? Oh, Mike. Mike's on the verge of losing his studio. Is it? It's where he does all of his work, and he's on the verge of losing it because he got injured, and he wasn't able to do work for a while, and it financially hurt him. So he has started. Do you guys know the link?
I have it. I'm on it.
Yeah, can you please share it out there?
On it.
Everybody, please share this out. If you can contribute, please contribute. If you can't contribute, please share it out. Let people know, because he's trying to keep his studio. Yeah, God bless him. He's a good guy. I'm going to tell Andrew talking about live. Join us. There we go. So anyway, Andy Morrow messaged me. But
I still don't know not to message you during the show.
Hey, Lord Thoth. All hail Lord Thoth. So here's what happened that I found interesting is when I saw this movie, I saw it at Valley Forge. My dad and I had gone there. It was the middle of fucking winter. And we were staying at a hotel on the outskirts of town, had to drive into town during a blizzard to see this movie. But once we got there, I was so glad we got a chance to see it, because I didn't know we were traveling. It was, school was out. Dad was one of those guys that loved to take me, and we head to Canada, or we go west. And I don't know how in our, adventures together, my dad's and my adventures, that he never took me to Mount Rushmore. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. Hey, Tim, what's up, man? Hope you're having a good weekend. So we are talking about John Wayne's The Shootist. And of course, this is the scene now where he is at the house. It's a boarding house, and he's trying to rent a room there that's just become vacant. Luckily, as she said. And she has no idea who he is at this point. And he gives a fictional name, Hickok.
No, it's not fictional. It's real, but fake. Bill Hickok is was a real man who was.
Are you fucking kidding me? You think that I didn't know that?
No, but you say fictional.
I said it's a fake name. He's using a fake name. He's not Hickok, but I know that Hickok's a real person.
Oh,
It's a fake name
I
for
don't-
him.
I
You
heard.
know?
I'm-
Do you know where the first gunfight was?
Yes, I
You know
heard
what?
that you said
Where was it?
fictional.
Where was it? Where was the first gunfight
fuck
of the Old
off.
West? It was right here in Springfield, Missouri, between William Hickok and a guy who he felt had wrongfully won his watch. Yeah, shootout took place right here, downtown square of Springfield, Missouri. And they have a little monument to it. But the actual location is about 200 yards away from where the monument is. So he
Man, you have
he
to
was at
love
one
Scatman.
corner. He was at one corner. Yeah, Scatman Crothers is great in this. He stood at one corner of the square from the other guy, and he had that long ass fucking Colt, man. That long ass barrel. He shot that guy from about 100 yards. We'll see when you get back, hon. No biggie. Don't worry about it. There she is.
There she is.
So Ron Howard had already done American Graffiti at this point. And American Graffiti kind of got him out of that Opie stage. But then he went right into the Richie Cunningham stage. And he became synonymous with Richie Cunningham. And that's kind of what he's playing here, a version of Richie Cunningham, which is a version of the character he played in American Graffiti. This is where she announces that she knows his name. Yeah, Lauren Bacall, man. Probably one of the greatest noir era femme fatales. He stole Bogart's
I'm sorry,
heart,
I'm still trying to me.
and she was with him
You
until
keep-
he died of cancer in
Mhm.
1958. They had telephones and even running water. She brings that up about the bathroom. We have running water. So this is an era when the Shootists were just outliving themselves. That's why the sequel, I don't know if it's going to work, because everything has to take place within a year to 2 years of this story. Because I think the shootout he finally has, the kid, 2018. There's Harry Morgan, scared to death. I love this scene. And then he's like, when he hears he's going to die, he's like, oh my God, you just took such a weight off of me. I feel so much better. And I do believe this was just before he took over playing Colonel Potter on MASH. Because I think Henry Blake was still there in 75 when they shot this. Let me go check. Because before this, the only thing Harry Morgan was really known for was playing. I just forgot his name. His partner. He was on Dragnet. It was
I'm sorry,
Friday and his partner. And I forget his partner's name. MASH. Because I do believe it was either 74 or 75 when Harry Morgan came in. And I believe it was after this. '74. So he had already been cast when they made this film. What a great actor. Scat, you've outstayed your welcome. The day they lay you away. I also like the way he reaches for his paper, which is under his gun, which makes his gun make a thump, and it causes Harry Morgan to hurry up a little more to get out of the room. And then he catches the kid spying on him.
Yeah, the kid who is kind of between being a kid and an adult. He wants to be a man. He's still a kid.
Yeah, he's 17 in the story.
That's a difficult age.
And he's trying to be his own person while also trying to be a dutiful son to his mom. You see him, he starts to sass her, and then he straightens up and goes, "Yes, ma'am."
Yeah, well, his dad has passed away, so he kind of has to be the man in the house. I probably had to be that for a couple of years. It's not easy for a kid. Especially back then, I think.
And I like the
I
way
think
that
the link
he's
works now.
almost courting her, trying to court her.
Well, he might be hesitant because he knows he's dying. So what's the point, kind of? But he likes her.
Got moxie. He delivered probably one of the sexiest lines ever said in a film. You know how to whistle, don't you? Put your lips together and you blow. And then she walks out of the room, and Bogart whistles. So, I mean, you get to see two great film actors share the screen here. They've never been in a film together before. He got to do that also with Rooster Cogburn, sharing the screen with Katharine Hepburn. This guy is you just fucking don't like him.
Were you talking about Lauren Bacall and John Wayne? Because he requested her too. He wanted her in this movie.
He had to finally work together with her.
Yeah.
This smug little reporter wants to write his biography and make up shit about him if he has to.
Did you post that, Gerry?
No,
Oh, that was you.
that was
Okay.
me.
Because I managed to do it from my phone. It just took me a while to get the link. Nothing works here. My whole technology goes to shit, and I don't know why.
Oh, there's Tony.
Hey,
Hi,
welcome,
Tony.
Tony.
Hey! Let me turn down my audio output. I can't stay long. I'm helping out for a minute in just a few, but I wanted to drop by and say hi and share a little love for this film. This is a great film, and also I have a house I got to clean today, so I got my house. I hired somebody to come help me, so I'll be very busy tonight. Usually I take Saturdays off of YouTube, but here I are.
It's
Morning.
great to have you.
Cool seeing you, buddy.
Mm.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite films of all time. It's absolutely my second favorite Western of all time. First one being another John Wayne film, The Searchers. And after this one, I love Unforgiven, Pale Rider, and oh my gosh, what was that one? I just forgot the name of the film. Pale Rider's where Clint Eastwood's the preacher, right?
Yes.
Where's the one he's a former Civil War soldier on the run? I forgot the name of that one.
I could look that up. For
Josie Wales. Josie Wales.
There, Josie Wales.
Josie Wales is the other favorite. And people think that I'm a big fan of like Clint Eastwood's Spanish films. I said, I know them. I've seen them. But no, I'm not that big a fan of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that big a fan of High Plains Drifter. I'm like, yeah, it's a great film. I just don't think it's his best stuff. I think Paint Your Wagon's better with Lee Marvin and him. A fucking musical with Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood. Shit, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Ha.
It flopped, but I still think it's a better film than High Plains Drifter.
Welcome,
this is a
Rod.
great film. Hey, Rod Thunderheart is here. It's Rod Thunderheart.
I was I helped out Rod Thunderheart recently. Yesterday, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, you got to hang out with him?
I helped him out. Like he's in between jobs, so I did a little fundraiser for him.
Here's Mike.
Oh, good.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I heard you need.
Mike needs a fundraiser too. He's got a campaign going right now, so he doesn't lose his shop.
Yeah, I'm doing that Monday. I'm doing a fundraiser show Monday.
Get a hold of me if you need me.
Will do.
Okay.
But
What are we watching today? The Shootist.
The Shootist.
yes, it was a Western musical porno that was made in the 70s.
Oh, awesome.
That's right up your alley, right?
There's a lot of things. Up
I can neither admit nor deny this.
We had the biggest fun ever on a Call of Duty stream when Comic Relief Crusader jumped in and he and Gerry just made everything so gay. That was awesome. I never had so much fun on a Call of Duty stream.
well,
I
see,
mean,
I was-
sure, I was underage, but hey, I had to expand my horizons somehow.
I hang out with a lot of military veterans on here, and every single time we get into the room, absolutely, gay talk is coming, because you get no bigger group of guys doing gay shit than infantry. That just
Yes.
a lot of gay shit's coming. It's coming.
A lot of
'Cause there's
guys hanging out
jokes
together.
Yeah, it's like my joke about the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps always looking for a few good men.
Hey.
Hey.
You keep this up, I'll sing In the Navy by the Village People. I will.
In the Navy.
God.
Anyway.
In the
Don't do that to our
Navy.
audience, please.
I won't. My voice is shot anyway. I do a
Rod,
lot of
word your-
singing.
Rod, I'm being
Where your
sardonic.
soap is on a rope.
Just roll with it, buddy. Just roll with it.
Hmm.
Look, I know High Plains Drifter is a solid Western, and it's a ghost story. It's a revenge film. It's got all the elements, but I don't know, man. I just never got into it. And the fact is, personally, I would rather watch Paint Your Wagon than watch High Plains Drifter. That's saying for everybody. It's just for me, man.
That's a hot take.
I get more fun. I find High Plains Drifter tedious. I find Paint Your Wagon fun. It tickles the gay side of me.
Mm. Down in the cockles of your hearts.
The cockles.
The
Instead of
cockles.
saying, from the heart of my bottom, folks, from the heart of my bottom.
That's right.
I'm enjoying some Mountain Lightning, store-bred Mountain Dew. I need that caffeine, man. Got to get the fix. By the way, on June 4th or June 3rd, to celebrate, what is D-Day, as well as, a lot of people forget this, the Battle of Midway was June 4th through June 7th. So this year, instead of D-Day, we're going to be celebrating the Battle of Midway. We're going to watch the newer film from 2019 called Midway. Great cast. I don't know why they got Woody Harrelson when he was clearly trying to play the character like Dale Dye and just didn't go get Dale Dye. Because he looks like Dale Dye in the film. It's weird. So we're going to watch that on Military Monday for June 3rd. Looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to watching it tomorrow. If I can get it to work, that is.
So I do want to point out, though, that this film inspired Clint Eastwood later with his final Western, which was Unforgiven. And he had held on to that script for a long time by David Webb Peoples, who's somebody I've actually know, and I think his wife's a douche. I invited him to join us for the Blade Runner conversation with the art director, one of the producers of Blade Runner. Like, he might enjoy to join them in talking Blade Runner on our Blade Runner special. And she just fucking laughed at me. No, he would not be interested in that, and hung up on me. And I'm like,
wow.
I've talked to David Webb Peoples many times and very polite to each other. I'm like, that was weird. And this is the problem sometimes that you have when you have the wife or girlfriend as the gatekeeper, is they'll kick people to the side. They don't understand what they just did. But I could have made it a big stink about it and said how rude it was. But look, I just looked at what it was. What I didn't like is that she laughed when I invited him. And I'm like, what are you fucking laughing at? You're lucky anybody's talking to him. What's he fucking doing anymore? Living on his laurels. But
that's rough.
I didn't say that. And if I had, I wouldn't have meant it, because I think David Webb Peoples is a great fucking writer. I wish he'd do something else. The last good thing we got from him was Soldier.
Soldier's one of my favorite films of all time.
It's a sidequel to Blade Runner.
Yeah. I just like the concept. Two battles that were mentioned in Blade Runner by Rutger Hauer's character are mentioned in the film, and there's also a police spinner at the dump site, trash site from Blade Runner.
Interesting.
So I think that if David had been aware of what I was doing, he would have wanted to be there, but she didn't want to tell him. She was probably having a bad day and decided to take it out on me. And I'm like, okay, you mock me all you want. I have better people than you that want to mock me.
Well,
it's usually what I say if somebody mocked me. I said, mock me if you want. I'm not bothered. I've got better people than you that want to mock me.
Step up your game, lady.
Yeah. Those are little moments that really don't have any real value or merit. It's like, I think this is the first time I've ever talked about it. It's just a nothing moment. It just made me sad because I thought David Peoples would have enjoyed having that conversation with some of the people from Blade Runner. All I was doing was letting them talk. Sometimes I would engage and bring things up so they could talk about it. But and I'm friends with these people in real life, so I've only run into a couple of funny moments in my life. Only thing I've ever avoided is Ridley Scott, because I don't want to invite him. One, odds are he would say no, but if he did say yes, I'd be terrified. Because not because I'm scared of him, but because I'm going to slip up and say, I don't think you're a very good director.
That could be awkward.
I think you're the greatest. I think he's the greatest cinematographer ever in the history of film. I really do. His
Let's see. There you go.
film,
You
Blade
could use
Runner,
that.
has been listed by the British Film Institute and the American Film Institute as the most influential film of all time. But what did he do? He made a film that's not complete. Its story is just all over the fucking place. There's no structure to it, but it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it was awe-inspiring. Blade Runner, just visually.
Yeah.
Which is why I make fun of the sequel, because he's trying to make it his own. So he moved away from the look of Blade Runner. And by doing so, he didn't make it look like a true sequel of Blade Runner visually. It's just not.
Yeah.
You do not have to copy what Ridley did. The sequel.
Yeah.
It's a sequel.
That is one thing I do have to admit, with the sequel, that it looked empty. In
Everything
the way
was sterile and just.
Well, see, the thing is, with Blade Runner, everything is so clustered together, right? The buildings, the people, the whole environment, right? Everything is gritty, kind of, right? And then you go into the sequel.
Everything is retrofitted too.
Yeah, and you get into the sequel, everything is so spaced out, and
his apartment is sterile looking and plain and drab.
Yeah,
and I just was like, oh man, this is the opposite of Blade Runner. So,
exactly.
But anyway, I do need to talk about this because this is Richard Boone's first scene where it's clear they've got bad blood between them. Richard Boone blames him for his brother's death. In fact, the last words out of his mouth was about revenge for his brother at the end of the film.
Well, they say it in the beginning. He always had people come after him for what he did. That's why at first he didn't want anyone to know that he was there and used a false name.
Yeah, he's trying to hide.
Hide and die in peace, yeah. And then he gets the end that he wants, really. He doesn't want to die in bed in horrible pain.
Well, Jimmy Stewart's character says it to him. He says, if I was a man of courage, I wouldn't want to die that way.
No one wants that, yeah.
Because he starts describing to him how he's going to die, what it's going to be like. You want me to tell you more, he says. He says, I want to know the truth. He says, the pain is going to be immeasurable. You'll feel it in your back, lower back.
And nothing's going to help.
In your groin, and nothing is going to stop the pain.
Well, the thing about not wanting to die in bed makes me think of Doc Hollywood when he's in that hospital bed and discovers he doesn't have his boots on. And he says, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I'm dying without my boots on.
Yeah, sucks. Same caliber of man, if you ask me.
I gotta say,
I tell people the real sanatorium was actually a hotel. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
The building isn't there anymore, but the location is, and you can actually visit it. They have a museum.
Hey, Tim.
I got to go there when I was a kid. Hey, Tim.
Okay, Gary, I gotta make like a tree and get out of here. Just wanted to come in, say hi, and show my support. Can't wait to see you Sunday. And we got a lot to do. Thank you guys.
Sunday
again.
night
God
after my
bless you.
girlfriend goes to bed.
Oh, you bet. That's gonna be a fun show.
What?
The things I do when
Really?
Anima falls asleep.
Yeah, I need to get out of this time zone because I'm missing so many great shows because they're like at my 4 or 5 a.m. or even later. It sucks.
Oh my!
Yeah, you missed the hijinks of me hanging out with Loki last night. I was really bad.
I know, and I love being in chat at Loki's shows, but I can only catch the morning shows that he's doing because his late night show is like Saturday 5 a.m. for me.
All right.
Hey, I got to play this before you go, Tony. I got to play this for Tim.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Wrong video.
Oh wait, that was Kyle. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
There you go. That one.
Hail the Enchanter.
I'm half.
All right.
See you,
All right,
have a
Tony.
good
Tony,
one.
take it easy, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow.
You bet. Have a good night.
You
Ciao,
too.
buddy.
Bye. None of the
So
videos are playing for
What
me.
happens at night what happens at night stays at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I got to say, a couple of scenes back, where Buddy's in the wagon there, I was getting like full on Buddy Ebsen, Beverly Hillbillies kind of vibes.
Oh man, we have
Uncle Jed.
Yeah.
we have to clip something from this movie when he's going to see the doctor and the doctor says, "Get down to your long johns, bend over the table, and drop door down."
Yes. I was going to say that when we watched it before the show. I want a clip of that because that's good for a backdoor breach. Trap door down.
God damn it. Harry Morgan. Horse hockey, I see. Horse hockey.
Mm.
So Anima's talking about how crazy it is. I'm going to be doing a Wednesday show this coming week, and
You have
Two
10
Thursday
shows.
shows.
If you do all the shows that you're doing, you have 10 shows between Monday and
And what I
Sunday.
told her is that the reason it's not crazy is because I'm just talking about movies that I love. And I'm going to have, like,
Yeah, but
when I do the show on Thursday, I've got two other people joining me, Nadia and, of course, my buddy Greg over at Fanzine. It's
Yeah,
going to be
but-
our first time getting to do something together in years.
Hmm.
That's going to be
and I
fun.
know you're excited, but it is a lot of time you
And
spend
we're talking about
streaming when you
killer
can't really
clowns
work.
from outer space.
God, I hated that
Killer
movie.
clowns.
I hated it.
Clowns. Clowns are killing people are stupid. I heard you, honey. I heard you.
I took one for the team
know
when
how
I watched that
sensitive
with
you
Vader
are.
because nobody else would come to the watch party. So I stayed out of pity, so I wasn't watching it alone. We both
Oh,
hated
man.
it. So yeah,
So
we were
She
hating
cheesy.
watching
whines
it.
a
So
lot,
good.
doesn't she?
Hey,
Do you
I
want me to
like
go?
killer clowns.
I have no opinion one way or
I'm
the
being
other.
bullied here.
Moistly.
Guys.
Mm.
Oh, fuck off, Martin.
Colonel Potter.
Plasma moldering in his
Oh
brain.
man, I love this scene. This scene made me laugh.
I
It was
like
a
the horse
sad
guy.
damn day when we lost Scatman Crothers. What a great actor. He
Oh
was.
man, yeah.
He was in so many things. Roots. Like the thing
Yeah.
I remember him for most was he was it the junk collector or truck driver on Chico and the Man?
Yes.
I think
that's
Yeah,
right.
remember that?
Yeah.
Hey Wade, how you doing, buddy? So yeah,
He's watching
killing me
on
moistly
X.
with his song.
Oh my god, you guys, that's it. I'm out of here. Bye.
Oh my god!
and she's lucky because I tried to use AI software to generate an image of a wet spider, and I couldn't do it.
Oh man.
Thank
You know,
God.
I always remember him as Jazz from Transformers from the cartoon.
No shit, he
also
was
hung-
Jazz.
Yeah, he's Jazz.
Yeah, he
in
did the voice of
Transformers.
Jazz.
Yeah. Scatman Crothers.
I
man.
loved him as Hong Kong Fooey.
Yes. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I
that's
was
what
in
remember-
fourth grade.
Remember,
Exactly, Tim. And we would
I
walk
saw
around
all-
school singing that song, Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy.
Yeah.
There's also this one.
Hong Kong
Gerry.
Phooey, faster than the human eye.
I mean, he added as Jazz, he added so much class to that character. Man, it's that's probably why he's my favorite Transformer out of them all.
Well,
And by the way, his name wasn't Scatman. He got the name
course.
Scatman because he did scat, which is
Yep.
jazz scat. And he was
Yeah.
really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great voice for singing, and he would do that
Yep.
Scatman for others.
Oh, even that tune at the beginning of Coonskin by what was it, Ralph Bakshi back in 1975. That was a good song, man. Jeez, he just love it whenever he's saying.
Well, to me, since I didn't all the voice work got lost to me because I saw it in dubbed to Spanish. But I will always remember his acting, his characterization, and as Mr. Halloran on The Shining.
Yeah. And then he was with Red Fox with Sanford and Son. So I think it was on an episode
remember
of
much
The
on that.
Love Boat.
Everybody,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to play this other clip here real quick because this is a scene that always reminds me because I saw this before Star Wars. So when I saw Star Wars and Han Solo turns to the kid, good against the remote is one thing, good against the living, that's something entirely else. And that is exactly what he says here.
Yep.
Willing to pull that trigger and take the life of another person. Great moment. There's also a line that's used in this when he gets mad at the kid at one point, and he says, "Someone needs to take you to the is it the tool shed or the wood shed?" That he says. I just love that thing. Yes, he was the chief detective with Peter Falk, and Peter Falk and his secretary, love interest, were played by the same actors, Peter Falk and her, that played same characters but with different names in Murder by Death, which was written by the same writer, Paul Simon. Or not Paul Simon, Neil Simon.
Neil Simon. Oh, and don't forget The Shining.
Oh, I
He
didn't
was in
forget
The Shining too. Oh, okay.
Yes, he got the axe in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the chest. And this, of course, is the scene where he takes him shooting, and the kid has a pretty nice grouping on the tree. Even though I fired at that distance and my grouping was much better. Then again, I was a trained shooter.
Yeah, the kid is just occasionally shooting with his boss. He's pretty good for that. And in the end, he nails.
Oh my God. I forgot I put this in here.
Oh, yes, it's 80s night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's 80s night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Oh, yeah.
It's Tom singing 80s Night. And the new show that I'm doing with Fanzine is called It's 80s Fright. It's 80s Fright. It's feeling right. 80s Fright. Oh, what a
none
night.
of the clips you're showing is playing for me. Everything is just freezing. My laptop.
That wasn't
sucks.
a clip. That was in the background. It was just music.
Yeah, I don't hear that either. You've tried that before the show.
Yeah.
There's something seriously wrong with my laptop.
The thing that's interesting about this film is it really looks like winter. It just looks cold.
Mm. Like Canada.
Up there in Canada.
Yeah.
Where men are free.
To a certain
And
degree.
things are even weirder than in the US.
Yeah.
Right now, to no degree. There is like, your liberty is gone right now. I feel for you
Except
guys.
in Alberta.
What's going on in Alberta?
Well, you know, it's basically the whole middle finger to our retard prime minister. So, you know,
Good
stuff
for
like that.
them.
Yeah. Not putting up with
Better
that
be
crap.
careful, man. I don't want Jack Boots kicking in your door.
Mm. If it happens, I'll broadcast it live. Then everybody will know.
I like that.
Do you like
Oh,
that
yeah.
British guy when he's arrested?
No,
You know,
you
start yelling that they're
wouldn't.
doing things to you. Why are you grabbing my
Exactly.
cock? Stop grabbing my cock.
Oh no, it wouldn't air. Remember that you passed that bill that censors everything, so
Oh, yeah.
it wouldn't go. It wouldn't go out your live stream.
I don't know. That depends on how fast I can talk at the time.
Yeah, it would go for a while. They would shut it down, but
Yeah,
not
exactly.
right from the beginning. So you could
Don't
get a
pull
few
it so hard
No.
and fast.
No, is they are applying a buffer, I think. So
Mm.
What?
It's not
Yeah.
a lawnmower string.
God, that sucks.
oh yeah, I'm be ready. Oh man, I have so much to tell you about how certain things are going here in Mexico. Oh,
Oof.
I
They are
feel like
using-
I'm way better off than you over here in Austria.
oh no, they're starting to
And things are
use
screwed here as well,
AI
but not as much.
to monitor you,
Started to use AI for what?
Oh, everywhere.
to monitor.
No,
your
I'm asking
language.
Martin. He's trying to tell us something.
They're
You're trying to use
They're
AI for
starting
what?
for monitoring your language.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So kind of like China with the whole social credit system thing
Kind of.
of sorts.
That's sad.
This girl.
yeah. This is a woman that broke his heart and now has come back. Found you. Let's get married. Only to find out that she wants the money from book sales and shit like that.
Oh.
Ugh.
She says she just wants the name,
Shit.
but he sees through her shit.
Yes, especially because the book is not meant to be accurate. The guy even said, well, what I don't know, I will make up.
Ah, that's right. Artistic license.
Yeah.
Well, in the end,
Yeah.
you need a good story.
True.
They do it with movies all the time. When
yeah.
they take a real something that happened for real, and then they have to alter it to make a good movie out of it, because sticking to the story 100% wouldn't make for a good film to watch. That's
True.
okay.
You got to
To a
add
certain
that pinch of
extent.
salt to add that flavor.
I'm okay with that. What I don't like is when they do
told
artificial
people
drama.
when I wrote the screenplay for City of Fire, and before Dale Dye wrote his draft, I added that scene because it is in there, and it happened 99% of the way I wrote it. But I added that one little thing. It's the fizz moment where the guy is mounting on. He's on the back striker. It's the only striker that has a man-mounted 50 cal. The rest are robotic, controlled from down below inside the vehicle. And he's just sitting there leaning against the back of the gunner's well, and he's got his hands relaxed, holding the grips to the 50. It's a dual-handed grip, and his thumbs resting on the butterfly trigger. And he's just sitting there resting, chill, and this guy, Haji, jumps out with an RPG right into the sights of his weapon. Hidden safely behind a wall, jumps out right into the sights of the 50. And he looks at the guy, sees the RPG, and just squeezes one single round with his thumb and just obliterates the guy. And that right there, that's a story. But like Jack Nicholson, but what if you let the camera keep going? So what I wrote in as the additional thing is that right as he shot him, the RPG went off and skims and bounces right off the top of the vehicle next to it at like a rock on water.
Wow.
And even Dale said, you made something that was dramatic far more dramatic by having him nearly hit by that RPG. And I'm like, yeah, it was a risk that actually could have happened if he hadn't squeezed as fast as he did.
The more you know.
I'm telling you, that battle was, those guys were full of guts to get out there and do that, because every base across Iraq was in lockdown.
Wow.
The 72nd Stryker Brigade was the only soldiers that went outside the wire that day after those car bombs went off to face the enemy and confront them and take back what they had taken a police station in Mosul, and they had taken right across the street the mosque, and they repelled them and killed them and got them out of there. And what sucks is, what a lot of people don't know about that day is they had the biggest lines of Iraqis signing up for police and medical jobs. And that's why the insurgency set off car bombs at the police stations and the hospital, was to kill people. They weren't aiming at military targets. They were attacking the people of Iraq. And that's why we refer to June 4th, 2004 as, June 4th, 2004 as the Tet Offensive of the Iraq War. And it changed everything.
Wow.
Because they began punishing the Iraqi people for trying to help and work with the United States. Maybe I like this scene because she's trying to get him to go to church. I don't want to go to no church.
Yeah, he's like, church wouldn't want me.
But God does.
In his infinite wisdom. Did Don just message me? Hold on a second. I think Don just messaged me. Oh, the video won't play for him. Oh, that sucks. Sucks for you, Don. I'll send it to him later. He's I was showing him that video of the Special Forces soldier firing one of the coolest World War II weapons, the grease gun, which is Don's favorite submachine gun. Now, this is John Carradine. Now, John Carradine goes a long way back. He worked with John Ford. Hell, he's in the movie with Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne, the man who shot Liberty Valance. The one person I feel they left out of this film that should have been in here is Strother Martin, because he was another regular. that liked to work with John Ford and had been in a lot of films with Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
But John Carradine is the father of David and Keith Carradine and the other Carradine kid that from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh.
That's their dad.
Okay.
He is best known for having played Dracula after Bela Lugosi.
I thought he looked familiar.
A lot of Westerns. Played a lot of creepy characters because he really can pull out the creepiness. He's a skilled creeper, I tell you. I think it's sort of in the Carradine blood. David was good at it too. The one brother I think that he's the good-looking brother is Keith Carradine. He's the good-looking Carradine. He could play straight characters and appear normal. David, God, he was weird-looking.
Yeah, that is true.
And a lot of people don't know this, that in the show Kung Fu is you had all three Carradine brothers get to work in there, and John Carradine too got to be in there. David Carradine played Kwai Chang Caine in it, the half white, half Asian character,
right?
And but a lot of people don't know that the child version of him, the kid, the bald kid, that's Keith Carradine playing young Kwai Chang Caine. Yeah.
Huh.
And then the episode that the other brother was in was the episode with the dad. And he played John Carradine's son in it. And Carradine gets blinded. They cut his eyelids off or some shit like that and make him sit out in the sun in the desert.
Ew.
And his character goes blind. It was a good episode. Even though I still have problems with that show because Bruce Lee came up with the idea of the show. The other dude ran off with it, made a show. He had a white guy play an Asian character. And yes, he hired a lot of Asian actors in it. That's true. But the main character was meant to be played by Bruce Lee.
Wow.
Now, this is funny because the barber gets his permission and brushes up, sweeps up his hair, but then sees other hair and he goes, fuck it. I'm going to do all of it. And he grabs all the hair. He's going to sell it as John Brooks hair.
Make all the money he can.
I thought that was funny.
Scumbag.
So he's got this kid getting all the bad guys to meet him in that bar on his birthday. Now in that movie, Murder by Death, every single character is a parody to a classic detective. And my favorite was David Niven and Maggie are supposed to be Nick and Nora Charles, and I love that. I love the Thin Man stories.
I'm going to watch them sometime.
There are books, too. You can read them. The Nick and Nora Charles mysteries. Written by the same man who created Sam Spade, the Maltese Falcon.
Huh.
I love those trees. And that was really a thing, by the way. Right around this time was when they, in a lot of the major cities, they had horse-drawn trolleys. I thought that was cool.
They just started with cars, right?
Yeah, cars were a new thing. They weren't sure if it was ever going to catch on. Boy, did it.
Yeah, well, a lot changed back then. Like you said earlier, electricity, running water, a lot of new inventions.
Now, by the way, what just happened is really one of the most touching moments in the film. He didn't want to bother her, so he tried to take a bath, and he wasn't able to stand up, and he fell in the bathtub. She had to go in and help him. And so now they have this great moment together.
She's telling him off for not asking for help. But he couldn't have. He's too proud.
God. People who say that John Wayne can't act has never seen The Searchers or this movie.
Yeah, right. He can.
There's moments in that fucking movie, The Searchers, where the audience as well as characters in the film are scared of him. He's really got a look. He's got a dark look. When he gives it, it's just like, is he going to kill her? He gets that murderer look in his eye. It's like, holy shit. I'll tell you now, you don't get to work with John Ford unless he thinks you can act. Drunken old Irishman.
When there used to be standards.
Yeah, he didn't worry about contracts. He did it the old Irish way: spit in your hand and shake hands.
There you go.
And Jack Lemmon was like, when he got the role of Pulver in Mr. Roberts,
yeah,
it was on a handshake like that. And it kind of grossed him out. He's like,
well, it is gross.
Come on, what real guy hasn't done that?
He's fucking Irish, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I've done it before, and I'm not even Irish.
Guys are gross.
Yeah,
most of the film was
we survived
done
a long time.
Most of the film was done, and Ford and Henry Fonda got into a fight that they never, their relationship was never repaired. They'd worked together for almost 25 years, and it ended making that movie because of his drinking. And he got belligerent with Fonda, and they got into a fist fight on the set.
Mm-hmm.
And the outcome was Ford got fired. They brought in someone to shoot his scenes. In fact, I forget who it was. Let me go look at him. Ford, Mr. Roberts. That's a film I plan to do, by the way, one day. I love that movie. Mr. Roberts. Yeah, this is where he's warning him. Let's see. Originally, Ford wanted William Holden or Marlon Brando for the role of Mr. Roberts.
Yeah.
But John Ford was friends with Fonda and promised him the role and gave it to him. I'm looking for when he got fired.
That's shyster.
Here it is. Nevertheless, Ford was replaced by Leroy after difficulties with Fonda. Quote, Ford apparently punched Fonda in the jaw during a heated argument. And a gallbladder problem that necessitated emergency surgery. It has been widely speculated which scenes were directed by Leroy. Jack Lemmon shed some light on this issue in a DVD commentary saying, Mervyn Leroy would watch all of the rushes that Ford had shot prior to his temporary departure and decided to shoot them the exact same way Ford had shot them. So you can't tell the difference. So that's interesting.
Or could it be because Fonda was a raving commie?
Was he?
Oh man. Oh yeah.
These are things I never know about actors.
All the Fondas, Jane Fonda. Yeah, I had no idea. Hannah. I mean, come on. Yeah, they were commies.
Joshua Logan is uncredited for having worked on the film because all of the scenes that were reshot for Henry Fonda, he refused to work with Ford again. So they brought Logan in, who had directed the stage production. And all the additional scenes with Fonda were shot by him. But again, he's uncredited. But the film is credited as being directed by John Ford, Mervyn Leroy, and uncredited Joshua Logan for several scenes. So this is it. He's putting on his pistol one more time. One last time. And it is ironic, Martin, that he's left standing after the gunfight. But he is dying. He will die that. I guarantee you, from the wounds he received, he was going to die that day. Because
Well, that shot in the back, Jesus. What did he shoot him with?
Well,
the barkeeper?
That's before the barkeeper. Before the barkeeper shoots him, those are still potentially lethal wounds he's received.
Yeah, but what the barkeeper is using, that's a big round. So
that's a scatter. No, it's not a round. That's a scatter gun. That's a scatter gun. And it hit, if he had lungs, it hit all of his lung.
Well,
because he hit him square center of the back.
The only thing I find contradictory is he wants to die in a gunfight, but he is extremely proficient in eliminating everybody else.
He's so good. I know he's left standing at the end.
He sabotaged his own suicide.
No, he doesn't. He just wants to take as many of them as he can with him.
I get what Martin's saying. He's still standing. He wanted to be dead. But the fact is, he's still going to die, but he's going to languish dying from the gunshot wounds.
All habits. He has to kill them all. He should have said something like, fuck, I should have left one alive.
Well, maybe today I'll get lucky and die.
Is that what he's thinking when he looks at the kid before he dies? Like, really, kid?
No, actually, that look that he gives him is a look of gratitude and pride, because the kid threw the gun, and I do love that moment. By the way, we have a friend.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
There you go.
Oh, Sax.
Happy Saturday, my friend. Henry Fonda was a typical Hollywood liberal, and he hated what Jane did. He was so pissed at her. False Spring, I love that. He quotes her. And here comes old Richard Boone. Now, Richard was known for a little TV show called Have Gun Will Travel. He played the character Paladin. You guys remember that show at all?
I don't think so.
Nope.
It would be a simple white business card he carried, and on that was the emblem of a knight, chess piece, and his name Paladin.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. I remember that then. Just vaguely, just little bits and pieces.
And he was basically the equalizer of the Old West. He was playing the equalizer, but in the Old West. And it was a great show. It was a hit show. Had a great theme song. I've got it here. I'll play a few seconds of it. It was a good show, man. I do like it. Richard Boone was a rough around the edges guy, and he was really good at playing characters like this. Rough around the edges, hard drinking, hard smoking, because that's what he was in real life. He actually got, remember Sunday Night Mysteries on NBC? Columbo, Macmillan and Wife. He ended up getting a, was it Thursday Night Mystery. And his show is called Heck Ramsey. So, here's the theme.
Have gun will travel, reap the card of a man.
Yeah.
Great
I
theme song.
remember that. Yeah.
So here's the big buildup. He knows the fight's coming. He's slowly working his way down there. God, that town is beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah, I love Western towns like that. I want to go visit one once I'm over there.
What's the name of the place? The Metropole or something like that?
I think so.
Oh, I forgot.
It's designed to look like a French whorehouse.
He has a thing for whorehouses.
That's where he got that damn cushion. He stole it. He stole that pillow from a whorehouse in Nevada. He walks into this beautiful bar. Every person in this bar wants him dead, unbeknownst to him, the bartender.
Yeah, that's a big surprise. When you think it's over.
I'll have a shot of the best in the house. It's my
Well,
birthday.
he just killed his employer, so I would be pissed too.
No, I mean the barkeeper after serving him fucks off, and you're like, yeah, he can tell that there's something in the air, and he better gets out before he gets killed. You do not expect him to come back with a gun. You do. You just don't.
No, that's why he gets caught off guard and gets shot in the back the way he does. And again, this is a guy that you will see in Clint Eastwood movies and shit. He's one of the bikers in Every Which Way But Loose.
It's the Metropole Saloon, you were right. I just found it.
Yeah, there it is. Right before he dies, he's like, "That's for my brother Albert." Robert Ryan. I always thought he was an odd duck for one of the bad guys in this because he's so damn good looking. He's too good looking for a villain.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Oh, I just found another thing that caused problems between Don Siegel and John Wayne. Because Siegel wanted Wayne to shoot an antagonist in the back for a scene, and John Wayne said, "I don't." Do that.
that was in that scene, in the bar scene. He goes, "I ain't gonna shoot no man in his back."
Yeah, and Siegel told him it's what Clint Eastwood would do, and that's a big mistake. He should not have said that. That must have pissed him off.
And now we'll get claimed for it. I'll pull it down later. I'm going to go ahead and play the final moments here. I'll let it play out on the slideshow, and then I'm going to play the video because it's just it's such a touching scene.
I paused the slideshow.
No. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Let it finish. We have time.
Yeah, go ahead. And by the way, I have a video clip that if you can share it, I can, or one of you, I can't share.
I can't do shit, Gerry. I'm surprised StreamYard hasn't kicked me yet.
There are
My
other
laptop
people
won't
here,
let me do anything.
honey. There are other people.
Okay, I will.
I'm just-
I will.
That's on Martine. I can't help you out with that. Not today. I need to fix this problem.
It's fine. That's fine. That's fine, baby. You can stop talking about it now. You're good.
Hey, Zax.
So good. You're so good. You're amazing. Stop.
Aw. He actually said
Gerry,
something nice to me on air. What's wrong?
Pause it. Yeah, but I said it in a very sardonic way.
Yeah. I know.
So
Okay, it's paused.
that's it.
Mm.
And there was some bad continuity there because from every other angle, there's no blood on the barrel of the gun, but when you see over the shoulder, you can see blood on the end of the pistol barrel. Like
Well,
really.
everything involving the blood in this movie is bad. They did not know how to do it back then.
Yeah, they're still having trouble with it. It was a bit orangish color, almost like candy apple, rather than looking like blood. And then, of course, Jimmy Stewart's final moment in the film. What, Martin?
In the barber shop, there is another continuity error with the position of the hair on his lapel. It gets
Yeah.
up and down constantly.
Anyway,
There are
I
people.
gotta-
People don't know this in film. There are continuity editors or directors. You got to go, Mike.
Yeah, I got to get going. So thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You bet, buddy.
So-
We shared your link out.
Thanks, man.
How are things going? Or how's the campaign?
It's, I suppose, relatively okay. I gotta kind of check up on it again. I think it's probably around 180.
How much do
or
you need
something like
to keep your shop?
that. Well, I need 1,000. So
How close are you now?
Let me have a look here. I am at 180. So
Yeah, you got to get more than that.
yeah.
All right, we'll push. All right, buddy,
All
get
right,
out of
man.
here. Go do something other than talk to us.
All right. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you
You
guys
bet.
later. All right. See ya.
Later, my
See you,
friend.
Mike.
Bye. So this is the ending of the film, and it's very somber ending. It's just mom and son. And I don't like the fact that the son of the author that wrote the book wrote a sequel to this where he becomes a shootist. I think that the end of this film tells us, and the end of the book tells us, that that's not where he's going. He's going to do something better with his life.
Yeah, the way in which he throws off the weapon tells you that he doesn't feel like doing that again. He's rejecting that path.
Well, he
Whoa.
thought he was kind of like enamored with it, and
Until he saw it
just
for what it
until
really
he
is.
did it himself, and then he realized what he was talking about. He understood the willingness thing, and he's like, this didn't make me feel good at all. I don't feel heroic. I don't feel like a man. I just feel like I've just killed another human being. It's all I feel. And throws the weapon away, and to the satisfaction of John Book, who gives him the nod, And I like that as the ending.
He knows, though, I think, that the kid is going to be the next Shootist.
No.
I think he feared that before, but not there. And what happens in the book is he ends up leaving town, going to West Texas, and ends up falling in love with this girl that works in a brothel, and is forced to rescue her from her pimp. And sort of like, what is that movie called with De Niro, where he says, you talking to me? I don't see nobody else here, so you must be
Taxi
talking to me.
Driver.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Western version of Taxi Driver, because Taxi Driver itself is kind of a Western. So, but most people don't realize when they get to the end of the movie that none of it happened. That Bacall's been driving, and
Okay.
none of the stuff had happened. It was all a fantasy in his head. It's a great film, though. It is really good. But when you get to the end and you see who's talking to him in the taxi, you realize, oh my God, none of this happened. By the way, I don't know if you knew it. Kyle said, Zach said hi to you. I don't know.
Yeah, I said hi to him.
Well, I don't think he felt you did.
Well, then hi
Okay,
again.
this is
Seth.
getting weird.
I always
is
make
getting
sure to
weird.
say hi to him.
So
This is us.
I do want to
First-
point out something interesting is that the hero of this story's name is John Bernard J.B. Books, which is very similar to Harrison Ford's name in Witness. He is Detective John Book. And I just do. I think that that's a great name, John Book. And so that they used it in Witness as well, I think is great. They added an S to the end. Oh, wow. And we need to do that show soon. By the way, the link for that video, let's go ahead and show that video. This is a Hugh O'Brian interview on working with John Wayne on the film The Shootist. And again, I want to point out, this guy was such a good-looking actor. He's always playing heroes. And it was the one character that felt off to me, even as a kid watching it. Felt just, he felt like he wasn't right for playing this guy. I think that if they had given him a big, what do they call it? Handlebar mustache as a character, it probably would have sold him better as a villain. But I always had a tough time with Hugh O'Brian as the bad guy. Do you have the video?
No.
I gave it to you.
Oh. Okay.
This is an interview with Hugh O'Brian that played
Give me a second.
the gambler, the guy that ran the table, the Pharaoh table.
Give me just a second. Oh, crap.
And there we go.
Yeah, I refereed my first fight in the Marine Corps.
Good man.
I really got to know
That's
that
good to
guy.
Yeah, you're hearing it.
The Duke, yeah, refereed my first fight in the Marine Corps. And I'm the last guy who shot in the Shootist. So I got to know him pretty well. The fight in the Marine Corps was very typical John Wayne and his thinking. 1943 in boot camp. And they had on Friday nights, Chris, during boot camp, you don't see anything outside of the dirt and the dust and your equipment and your buddies. But on Friday night, they had what they called smokers. And it was in the amphitheater that they have down there, San Diego, and the stage area was kind of where the prize fight, the ring was, and the way they selected the one guy from one platoon to fight the guy from the
You
other
tell me
platoon,
when to pause it.
No, I want to watch the whole thing.
with flying in combat.
Okay.
It had absolutely nothing to do with weight, size, or how you looked. I think there was about 12, 14 platoons going through boot camp at the same time. Let's say there were 14, so there were 7 fights. There was a guy from this platoon would fight a guy from this platoon. And the way they did the selection is they would have 64 pieces of paper that they would put in the pith helmet, all of them blank except one, which was marked boxer. So you picked out the piece of paper, and this particular, I guess it was about the third or fourth week of boot camp, I picked out the one marked boxer. And ours was about the 4th or 5th fight. And these are 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds, whatever it was, with a minute and a half rest between rounds like normal boxing. And so they introduced my platoon and for me to get into the ring. And I got into the ring, I'm about 155 pounds wringing wet, same height, 6 foot, but on the thin side. And they announced the name of the guy from the other platoon. He got in the ring. He was probably the biggest man I'd ever seen at that point. He was about 6'8", huge Afro-American guy. He was the star tackle on Texas A&M, and he had enlisted in the Marine Corps. The only saving grace is he was overweight. He weighed about 325 pounds or so. But anyway, here's this huge mountain that's standing there, and this skinny little guy. And the ringmaster said, "We got a big treat for you guys tonight. Guy down here making a film, his name is John Wayne. He's going to referee this fight." 1943, John Wayne was really emerging. He was not the kind of star that he became at that point, but everybody knew who he was, but he was still kind of the fresh thing. Anyway, to make a long story short, he gets into the ring and he looks at this skinny runt and he looks at this other giant. And I think it's one of the few times I ever saw John Wayne look up at anybody. And stood there for going, he says, "You guys want to fight my rules or Queensberry rules, which are the normal rules of boxing?" We didn't want to argue with him, so we'll fight your rules. So he climbs out of the ring. As he's walking away, I still to this day think he gives me this little wink. He climbs out of the ring instead of staying inside the ring to referee it. He goes down and he goes to where the timekeeper is. He picks up the gong, rings the bell to start the fight. And that was it for almost 15 minutes. He wouldn't let the guy ring, at the end of 3 minutes. Decided the only way that the skinny little runt was going to have a chance is if he could outrun the big guy. And turns out, which is also somewhat true, is that I'm the guy that taught Muhammad Ali the backward shuffle. But I just kept my left out, and I had a little boxing experience, and one way or the other, the guy chased me around the ring, and he finally collapsed from exhaustion. I fell on top of him. I still have this little brass bracelet to prove it.
There you go. Real Marine, So Hugh O'Brian, just a good actor, but I still feel like they should have dirtied him up a little bit somehow, made him gruffer. He was too much of a pretty boy to be playing a villain like that. So, but anyway, Ranker Steve's been talking to me. He's wanting me to do his show on Tuesday, and instead of Toxic Tuesday. But he's got me interested because they're going to be talking about leadership, any type of leadership, including military leadership. Well, I'd be interested in talking about that, doing some serious discussion about that stuff. So what do you guys think? What are they doing on? Do we know what they're doing yet on Toxic Tuesday?
I don't think so. He's not usually up that early. Let me check. But man, you've got a full week coming. I could not do so many streams.
Oh, I forgot about this. Mark D wrote my theme song.
Oh,
Did you guys know about that?
no.
Yeah, he wrote wrote the theme song. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. It's funny. Him and Tom have been. Tom wrote that one song about my butt itches. He says that he was thinking about me the whole time when he was writing it. I got an itch and I can't scratch on my butt.
Oh, that one. That's great. That shit's funny.
Trying to remember where I put it. See if I can find it. In the videos folder, Pop Culture. Yeah, here we go. Here's two of them. I'll see if they'll upload. See if they upload. Won't let me play the one. It may not let me play the other one. If I give you the links, do you think you can play them, Martin?
No promises in war, but okay.
Here's one.
Where?
Oh, didn't it pop in there?
Nope.
What the
I don't
heck?
see.
It's not sharing the link.
Nope.
I'm gonna have to. Hear him that way.
Nothing seems to work
Okay.
tonight.
Oh, I got this. Might be why. Hold on. I might need to do the whole link. Let me try it again.
The Punisher was last Toxic Tuesday, Clay.
This is why it wouldn't let me share. Okay, now it should. There we go. It's one.
Oh, Suno.
This is the second one. It's AI written music. These were written by one of the viewers. The lyrics were written by a viewer and then reworked by Mark C with the big D. You guys tell me which one you think is best.
I can't tell you anything because I
Wait,
don't see
oh
anything.
man, now there
Or
are
hear anything.
there are three of them.
Talking to the audience.
Okay, let me open the three and then I will let you know because I cannot hit them.
Stream Elements is confused. Sax has been a member for 30 months, and Stream Elements thinks he just joined. What the heck?
If it's not going to work, I can try to do it.
No. Don't worry. Here's screen. Okay, first one. You add to stage, and here we go.
The Sherry sees you when you fought it.
Again.
He knows when you're past gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Jerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the Fog Patrol, and he knows your back door well. Gerry sees you when you're fighting. He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Gerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the fire patrol, and he knows your back door well.
Okay. Go to the next one.
Okay, on it. That and here we go.
He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Gerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the funk patrol, and he knows your back door well.
And then the third one. All put together by Mark D with a C.
Gerry's watching, don't you know? He sees you when you fight high or low. His eyes are on you.
Bubblegum pop.
So better hold it in and make it a blast. Your tips and squeaks, he hears them all. No stinky secrets, you can hide them, y'all. He knows when you've been breaking wind. So better stop ripping ass, my friend. Stop ripping ass, oh, what a gas. Hold it in. Make it last, Gerry's watching, don't you see? No more farts, just let it be.
Mark actually wrote a whole song.
You let it be. His eyes are on you every time you pass gas. So better hold it in and make it a blast. Stop ripping ass, oh, what a gas. Hold it in. Make it
Not just you, King. Not just you.
All right. So the last thing I guess we can show here, it's in the private chat there, Martin.
I could actually hear the songs. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear them. And I only like the second one.
Are you there, Martin?
Yeah.
Okay. You see the YouTube one that ends with the 254 at the end of that? That is actually the time code at 254 seconds in is when Johnny Carson introduced John Wayne for his last ever appearance.
What? Oh. Give me a second.
Yeah, it starts right at the 4-minute 11-second mark or 254 seconds in. Because that's how YouTube reads them. That's why that 254 is at the end there. It's telling your link to open at 254 seconds. And in this video, you can really see that he's near the end. This is also around the same time that he shot that American Cancer Society video about smoking and what cancer does to you.
Here we go.
50th anniversary presentation of the Academy Awards. An American institution stood on this stage and said some very heartfelt words about another American institution. Tonight, we'd like to relive that moment with you.
Before we get to the big one, here's a word to one of Hollywood's biggest. He's in Boston right now. We want you to know, Duke, we miss you tonight. We expect to see you amble out here in person next year because nobody else can walk in John Wayne's boots.
Michael Cimino won for Best Picture with The Deer Hunter. He looks so goddamn thin. Gaunt. All right, we can end it there.
My job here tonight is to.
I just wanted to show that because it was the last time, and he did lose the battle.
Sadly.
But we'll probably watch some more John Wayne films. Well, I mean, we're going to be watching another one here on Monday. We're watching Leathernecks when he it's the film about the flying tigers.
Yep. That's
That
on the plan for tomorrow.
Flew out of Burma before America entered the war, before Pearl Harbor.
Well, and after Flying Tigers, I need to watch some Clint Eastwood for our special show next week.
Yeah, we'll probably watch some Clint Eastwood tonight. We'll finish Dirty Harry.
I don't know if I get my shit to run, Gerry. Everything is shutting down. I'm really surprised StreamYard hasn't kicked me yet. Nothing is working on my laptop right now.
Oh no.
So
well, we'll figure something out because we're smart farts.
Yeah, I'm not. And it would be great if you could host, but of course this happens when I have to be the one to host. Everything fails me on my side. Technology sucks.
But let's see what else we got here. E. Clay Thomas is going to send some clips. I told him to send them to you, Martin, not to me because I can't show them. Has he sent them yet? Or how were you going to send them, Clay? And what clips are they?
That's a good question.
Are they for this show? Because we're ending the show right now. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, we are. Oh,
we're actually not on screen right now. This is all in your head.
Well, Matinee and I aren't real.
Not to sidetrack your stream, but have you heard of the World War II movie from '85 called Come and See? Hold on. That sounds really familiar.
If it's any good, I would be surprised if you haven't heard of it. You're an
Yes, I've seen that. That movie is fucked up, dude. Yes. Powerful film. I don't think Anima can handle that film. I know the film you're talking about. Yes. Powerful film on war.
That bad?
Yeah,
huh?
It's a Russian film. That kid, the intensity of what he sees and what he goes through. Yeah. It's rough.
Sounds like it could be too much for
and
me.
It is Russian. It is listed as horror war. It has a double billing as a war film and as a horror film. And the horror in it is the reality of what they're depicting happening. It's just rough. But yeah, I saw that movie. Oddly, I didn't see it in the 80s. I saw it in the 2000s when I first found out about it. Okay, E. Clay, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So, but any other last thoughts about the film before we go?
No, I think we've covered on.
I'm going to go ahead and read this
Everything.
real quick. John Wayne, a vet of 80 Westerns from Hollywood's golden age, made little secret of his dislike of Eastwood's darker style of Western. In fact, he wrote him a letter about it, and it broke Eastwood's heart because he's a huge John Wayne fan. His last performance came with 1976's The Shootist, where he played a legendary gunfighter dying of cancer. The film was helmed by Dirty Harry's own Don Siegel, who'd worked multiple times with Clint Eastwood. They were very friendly, and it ended up affecting the screenplay for Unforgiven, one of Clint's favorite films that he made. Namely, the sequence where Eastwood's Money's character fears his dying and speaks of being scared that came from Wayne's film. He borrowed that from John Wayne in The Shootist and put that in the film. And I think it's wonderful that he was inspired by what Wayne did in that film. Best list and started it, but it is bleak. Look, I put that on the list of films that watch one time, at least once, so you can say you did it. And then there are certain films I won't watch. I only watched Deer Hunter because fucking Don Ecker forced me to watch it again to do the show. I'm like, God damn it, I never wanted to watch that film again because I saw it when it came out, and I walked away from that just like you feel defeated by it. Like you feel so depressed from it. Anyone knew about it, it would be you, Gerry. Oh, you were so right, Kyle. You were so right. Yeah, you know me. I'm a cinephile, dude. I love my movies. It is a masterpiece, but it's one of those masterpieces that unless you don't feel what's going on, it's a rough movie. Even though I know what they show in there is bullshit, because there is no Russian roulette in any of those camps.
And it's long and slow, so fucking
The
slow.
first half of the film is specifically designed for you to get to know these people in that fucking town.
They don't make them
so long to get through there, but it is
I
a
did not
beautifully
want to
shot
meet those
film.
characters. None of these
And the
characters
worst part,
interested.
that's the thing. You know, that is the heart of America. Is there are so many people like that back then? Still, there are people like that. They live out there. These are, townies that live in these small factory towns, industry towns. They live there, and it's all they know. And the bleakness of it, Jesus Christ, that movie, God, it's hard to watch. But I will tell you that the performances in it are incredible. That Christopher Walken, that scene, that final scene with him, it's like he got through to him, and he's like, yeah, and it's like, yeah, and then click, and it's over, and you're like, what? You think for an instant he's got him, he's going to save him. Ah, that's heartbreaking, man. And I think that Robert De Niro, despite being your classic leftist Hollywood guy, did a fair job of depicting a U.S. Army Special Forces guy, Green Beret. I think he did it with respect, so I admire that. Yeah. I left, I saw, I came home and wanted nothing more of it. And George Zunza is in that movie, and I love George Zunza. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. I say that name, and most people don't know who the fuck I'm talking about. And you've seen him time and time again. And I'll get a picture of him.
Some people are just bad with names, Gerry.
They are. They really are. And I love this guy as an actor. God, man. Is he still with us? I need to check, see if he's still with us. Oh, I hate it when it changes it to JPEG instead of JPG. And certain browsers don't recognize JPEG, JPEG. Maybe it now. Yes, he is still with us. He is 78 years old. This guy is an incredible actor. Really is. He is the actor who was one of the first cops on not Homicide. What's that show that's still going? Cop show, Martin?
There's so many. Law and Order?
Law and Order, thank you.
Oh.
He was in the first season of Law and Order. He was the main cop. Here he is. That's George Zunza. This guy. what a freaking actor this guy is. He can play anything except good looking.
Are you showing him? Because I can't see anything.
Yes, I did show him. Here you go again. It's on screen right now. I'll leave it there.
Not for me.
Martin, can you see it?
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I need to go and toss my laptop out of my window.
No.
I'm on the 4th floor. That should fix it.
Look, I treat computers the way some guys treat girlfriends.
No.
You don't throw out one girlfriend until you get a new one.
I don't want to get a new laptop. I hate that. I'm so lost every time I have to.
Get a PC. You need something. How am I going to talk to you?
I
I'm
know.
gonna hang out with you.
It's going to be a couple months before I'll be able to fly over. But I will be able to do that this year.
So, you remember Zunza because he was the best friend in No Way Out with Kevin Costner in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
He ends up getting
Yeah.
murdered. I love that
Yeah.
movie, man.
Now I know who you're talking about. Thank you. That's all
He
I
did
need.
a weird movie with what's his name? I just forgot his name. Hispanic actor from Blade Runner, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Edward James Olmos.
Oh, I found it. It's called The Limbic Region. It was a weird film, action thriller. It came out in I think 1996. And it was in the 90s. The Limbic Region of the brain. And God, man, that movie is wild. And both of them are so good in it. George Zunza is partners with Edward James Olmos in that film. Very good film. That's it. All right. So I want to thank everybody for being here. We got up in the 40s for our audience today. That was worthwhile. I told a little trivia here and there. Played some fart music that Mark wrote. King's Porkhouse says he also needs a new laptop. So he says, when you get rid of yours, send it to him. I think is what he's hinting at.
Yeah, Sax, I'm coming. I got a job now, starting in June, and I'll have 3 weeks of paid vacation to be consumed this year. And I don't have crazy medical bills anymore for Loki because they're done treating him, sadly. But that means I can start saving money.
Now, this is, Loki's just going to enjoy his last days with his mom.
Well, he's been doing that for 2 weeks now, and he's still doing good.
He could probably linger for quite a while. Liver conditions have a tendency of going slow. So he's probably going to, you're going to get, to a point where it's like, yeah, it's time.
Yeah, but when I picked him up from the clinic where he was on the ICU for 2 days, they made it sound like this is going to last a few days. Don't drag it out too long. And my doctor, whom we saw right after that, she was like, I'm not going to do anything. This cat still wants to live. So
he's having a good life, man. He's got you doting on him all the time. Jesus Christ. She sends me photos of him all like on her lap, and I'm like, yeah. He's miserable. He's miserable.
He's a spoiled little fucker, and rightfully so.
Yeah. And you know what? I believe this, that pets are the one thing we can spoil, and nothing bad will come of it. Can't do that shit with your kids, but you can do it with your pets.
Oh, that will backfire with your kids.
Yeah. Well, you end up with the problems we got now. Kids. So, but anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed The Shootist, John Wayne's last film. I love that artwork that is painted by Richard Ansel. He is also, and the thing I will point it out here is that it looks like the people, but when you really break down what he's doing there, they're almost caricatures. The lines and everything is exaggerated in their faces. And it's something that Richard Ansel was really good at doing. And the most famous poster by Richard Amsel is, and he died young from AIDS. He was like, I think he was, I don't think he reached his 30s.
Oh boy, that's really young.
But he did some great posters. I'm trying to find my favorite one that he did. And I had this poster. I had the actual thick cut, marquee cut, and it was huge. I had it on my wall. I rolled it up to go on a flight out of Seattle, landing in Denver, and I left it at the fucking counter. Walked away from it in the tube.
Damn.
Broke my fucking heart, man. I was so upset when I got to my destination. I realized I had screwed up and left this poster. Oh, man. But I'll show it to you here as soon as I find it. There it is. There it is. Because he's one of the few artists that I never got to meet. And I got to be close friends and study under one artist, Drew Struzan. Learned so much from him. Yeah. But Richard was the other guy that was famous for doing Indiana Jones. And I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's hope it works. I'll stop my camera. Is it? Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. There it is. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
That is Amsel's artwork right there. Look at the gorgeous work he did there. There's his name. Amsel was the second artist allowed to put his name on movie posters. You know who the first was?
No.
Drew Struzan.
Oh.
But when you look at this picture, you'll see that looks like Harrison Ford, but there's some slight deviations in what he did. Certain things are larger, like this part of his jawline goes out a little further than they actually do.
Yeah, but he is recognizable. We've seen action figures that just did him wrong. So that's clearly him still.
But Amsel was that kind of artist. He was still just a fucking brilliant artist. His work because it's hard to tell when pencil work is in here and there is paint in here, but you know what else is in here? Colored pencil. And a lot of stuff here. A lot of the highlights are highlighted by colored pencil. This is another thing that Drew Struzan taught me, because Drew does the same thing. Beautiful artwork. And his poster right here, again, I'll show it to you. Right there. Here's a close up of the John Wayne drawing. You'll notice there's almost like a cartoon look to the way the face is shaped. You see it?
No, I don't see anything.
I see it. It's almost fish-like the way it's designed. And this is something that he does to exaggerate the shape of a person's face. And it's very minimalist, but it's there. And I always notice it. And it's how I learned to recognize who did what. When I look at old posters, I can tell who did it. Was Brown? Was it Drew? Because Drew's first movie poster, and I found it, and he was impressed that I recognized his art, was Empire of the Ants. And it's got the ant with the woman on a tree. And I went, that's yours. And he goes, how do you know? And I said, it's the way you do your outlines. You do your outlines. Nobody else does outlines the way you do, which is the outlining that I do. You'll see it in some of my artwork. I replicate his outlining style. It's beautiful work, man. I love Drew Struzan. He was scruffy. Yeah, Clay. He was always scruffy. And that one makes it look like a mustache, but it's actually just scruff. It is scruff. Don't you worry about that cat, Kyle. Loki's getting spoiled like you wouldn't believe right now.
There you go. That's how I'm doing shows.
See? He's
Liquid
spoiled.
cat in my arms.
Spoiled rotten, I tell you.
Yep. And Gary's jealous.
No, I love that cat. I think he's.
I know. I wish you could meet him.
A boy, Loki.
Yeah.
What you need to do is
he's
take some of his DNA and clone him.
He's got those dilated pupils that.
Yeah, especially if
Cats.
a cat gets excited or very, 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 very happy. Their eyes like. Get,
Or when they are going to, they are about to enter what we in my house call crazy mode.
well, yeah, ears go back.
That's what she does.
Yeah, ears go back, eyes get huge, and you're like, fuck off, don't. Ah. All right, guys. Love you guys. Glad you guys stuck around for a couple hours with us. Everybody have a great Saturday. Anima and I will probably watch a little bit more movies like Dirty Harry.
Hopefully.
That's it is really my favorite Clint Eastwood film of all time. It is Dirty Harry. Why do they call him that? And then when you find out, because he takes every dirty job. Make no mistake, he's still a cat. That means he's an asshole. All cats are assholes.
Yeah, but he is
Love
a
them all you
lab
want to, but when they feel like being an asshole, they will show their ass, and it's fun. So
I beg to differ.
you would.
My experience that hasn't been my experience with my cats.
Allegedly! That was a...
What was that?
Allegedly.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Allegedly. With his cat.
Anyway, let's get on.
Don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
That's it. We're out of here. Bye, guys. Have a good Saturday. Oh, yes, like me. Very friendly. Loki.